Welcome to the 8th grade Math Homework Helper Series. Tonight's homework is PR2, Writing Equations for Proportional Relationships. For each of the following, write an equation that can be used to graph a proportional relationship. For number 2, it says a stationery store sells 3 ballpoint pens for $2.25. Step number 1 is we need to assign an x and a y value. So for x, we're going to say the number of pens, which is 3. And for y, we're going to say the cost of the pens, which is $2.25. So we set up an x and a y, with y on top, x on the bottom. And then, as we said before, y equals the cost of pens, so we equal y to $2.25. And we said x equals the number of pens, so across from x, we do 3. And now we're going to cross multiply these. And as we do that, that's going to get us 3y equals 225 times x. And now you can see this looks like the equation of a line. And we know that when we have an equation of a line, we always want to try and isolate y. And so in order to do that this time, we're going to have to divide by 3. And if we do that on this side, we're going to have to do it over here. And if we take 225 and divide by 3, we'll get y equals 0.75x. And we could use this equation to graph the proportional relationship in this word problem. Okay, let's take a look at number 6. It says Emma answered 22 questions correctly on a multiple choice test, where each question was worth the same number of points. She scored an 88 on the test. So once again, we want to set a value for x and a value for y. So we're going to let x equal the number of questions, and we're going to let y equal the total number of points scored. So we set up our y over x, with y equaling the total points earned, x equaling the number of questions. And then once we have that, cross multiply. And that's going to set us up with 22y equals 88x. And you know, again, we want to try and isolate y, so we're going to divide by 22, which we're going to do on this side as well. And that's going to clear y out, so it'll be by itself. And it's going to show that y equals 4x. And we could use this equation to graph this relationship. Okay, now we're going to be using a chart to try and determine the relationship between each of the factors on this chart. So for number 1, let's determine that x equals the gallons of gas and y equals the cost. And I put the x and y over here as well. And you could do the same on your homework. Once you have this set up, you can then apply that same idea to each one of these pieces. So we'll go through the steps for this one. $4 and $16.36 for 4 gallons of gas. So we said y equals the cost, so we associate the cost right next to y. We said x equals the number of gallons, so in this first piece of the chart we have 4 gallons. And then we have to go ahead, cross multiply these. And when we do that, we're going to get 4y equals 16.36x. We're going to divide this out because we want to solve for y. And we're also going to divide the 16.36 by 4. And that's going to get us y equals 4.09x. And this is the equation that we can use, if we did it right, for each of these. So let's go ahead and try that. If we set it up for $8 and $32.72, we work out to be exactly 4.09. If we set it up for the next equation, which was 12 gallons of gas at $49.08, if we divide it out, it still works out to be 4.09. And lastly, if we set it up for $65.44 for 16 gallons of gas, we go through and divide it out. Again, it works out to be 4.09. So this equation works for any one of these relationships. And that indicates that this is the correct equation. Please use the problems that were done for you tonight to help you solve the additional problems that are on your homework. Remember, The key to success in math is not only working hard, but working smart.